What's going on, everyone? This is Sarge, and this is the next episode of my favorite top 5 Battlefield objective plays, a series where you guys get to showcase your skills in playing the objective across all battlefields and all platforms in the game. Coming in at number 5, we have a clip sent in by the username of Suicidal Sheep, who's going to be playing a competitive match of Rush 8 versus 8 using the 870 MCS on the map Seine Crossing. He's going to show and display exactly why this weapon just decimates these targets in a very short range like that. Does exactly what it's designed to do. 6 kills and a disarm in a match where people are communicating. Quite impressive. Coming in at number 4, we have a clip sent in by Tibix Rex and X. I believe that's how you pronounce your name. Sorry if I made the mistake on that. Who's playing Bad Company 2 on Oasis using the Engineer, showcasing why the UM45 is a great weapon to attack an objective and defend at the same time. Oasis being one of my favorite maps to play on because of the fact that it had such a wide range of gameplay. There was lots of cover, there was lots of open areas, boats, choppers, you had the entire deal. And then you see him use the M93R in this case, where he picks off that guy. I believe he's using the Xbox or playing on the Xbox, gets 2 targets, goes for that objective where he arms it and then switches to defense. And if anyone played on this map before on Rush, you know that these 2 objectives are the first sets to get to, are probably the more difficult one to take because it's right next to the enemy spawn. Not to mention that they get to spawn in with tanks and vehicles to be able to counter the attackers. So to be able to sneak in like this and then just pick off as many targets as you can is quite impressive to be able to nonetheless to do what he's doing, especially on the Xbox where it's more difficult to actually aim at your enemies. So Tibix comes in with a total of 5 kills and 1 objective take on a map that's very difficult to take in under a minute. The Collapse comes in at number 3 with a clip where it's a very interesting tactic that he uses to go in for the F flag on map called Dragon Pass. And you'll notice that the enemy has just captured the flag, but he's determined to take it back. And on a flag that's closest to where he spawns, he's pretty determined, goes in for that jihad. The tank barely misses his shot. He gets that payback pin and then goes around where he has no C4 to bait the enemy out of the tank by brushing up against that to fool him thinking that he's placing C4 on the tank. Gets in the tank, and this is where he actually starts to go to work. And at this point, by making the safe judgment that you have majority of the flags, that means that the flags that the enemies do have, they're going to be spawning off of. So checking your 6 is probably a really good thing to do. You don't want to be countered from what you just did to the enemy. And you see him firing at this LAV, who's not aware by the time he gets destroyed that he's right behind him. Pops that reactive armor on that's like an extra force field to take enough explosives before it goes off in a couple seconds. Gets these guys who are just flooding in. This guy's trying to get out of the way, but apparently that netcode takes a hold of him. Gets a last kill here around this rock by the F flag, the farther back F flag that faces D, and gets a total amount of 9 kills and 2 tanks with 1 cap flag with a sneaky play by the Collapsed. Coming in at number 2, we have a teamwork gameplay by 2 duo players who are running on the Xbone, who's playing the Obliteration game mode on Zavad 311, and you're going to see him running the tank for the most of the part of this gameplay, and he picks off the enemy who's carrying the bomb, gets a total of 4 kills. I believe that was a complete full chopper in just 1 shot of that tank. It has his teammate get out who's in the gunner to take the bomb, and then this is where he goes on a roller coaster ride where he goes to try to get to the objective, which is on the other side of the map. And using a tank like this, which is very slow transportation, you're gonna take a lot of heat, especially since you're in the main position of being targeted by everyone else who's on the map. And you'll see this tank that sneaks up right on his 6. He's able to get the upper hand and take him out. Gets out of the tank because right now his friend is on the go. You can't use that tank to get in the objective where there's going to be a lot of gunfights going on, and gets this impressive double kill out of the chopper using the small rocket launcher. His friend gets the arm, switches to defense, wants to stay next to the objective to make sure that no one goes for that disarm. Obviously there's going to be a flood of people trying to go in, but because of the fact that they got in there quick, he's able to not take so much heat, gets 2 kills for the defense, and the bomb take goes off with a great play by Skridslow and his buddy Ozorochi on Obliteration Xbox. Our number 1 spot goes to a player who is completely determined to take this MCOM on Lane Kang Dam, who's the first set objectives, B being the only one that's left before you can push up to the next set. And because there's so many players who's going to be focused on this 1 objective, it's very difficult to try to take it and then survive. And in this case, you just see him try to keep the enemy off the objective with a grenade, houses his teammate that's right there, pull out a health pack. 2 is not going to be enough to take so much heat like this and still survive is almost nearly impossible, and you'll see why in a second, why determination and persistence is key to playing the objective in Battlefield. And you notice that the enemy has disarmed the tank. He's telling his teammates in the chat to watch the MCOM while he takes it. Has a teammate who's using the transport chopper in a way that's very useful to hover above the objective, out of range of the enemy rockets, and then still transport people onto the flag. As you see him here take the MCOM again, going in for that second take, arms it twice, has his teammates spawn on him, tries to get these enemies off of it, but there's just too many players, and at this point you can't really decide what to do at this moment because you're taking so much heat from the enemy. What do I revive my teammates? Do I throw grenades on the objective to keep enemy players from disarming? It's just, there's so much going on, and right now his entire team is wiped, but Lavi BF is not going to quit. At this point of the game, when you're so close, only 10 tickets left on his team, you want to take that objective, you want to be persistent, you want to be aggressive in this case because there's so many enemies around you, there's so many people focused on this one particular objective, and you'll see that the enemy has grown so comfortable that disarming, there's just a guy waiting there, but Lavi BF is determined to keep them off by completely spamming that MCOM with grenades to get as many players off as they can. The enemy shows up just enough time to try to get players off, but the MCOM gets disarmed for the 3rd time. At this point, there's only 4 tickets. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna still go in? You're still gonna capture that flag, or you're just gonna take a beating? Lavi BF does not care about his KD, only wants that objective, get armed, wants his teammates to protect the objective. Unfortunately, he gets taken out, and at this point, you probably think it's all over. Teammate shows up just enough time to revive their hero. He switches to defense where he gets that MCOM. There's only 1 ticket left. Barely misses that rocket that brushes across his face, and then tries to switch to defense to get as many players away from the bomb as he can. You notice that he's just spamming that MCOM with grenades. Hopefully there's anybody lingering by. If they get that disarm, they win, so he wants to keep them off of that objective. Gets taken out. His teammates are there just enough time to protect the MCOM for it to get destroyed. Such great determination by Lavi BF with an amazing play and the #1 spot of my favorite top 5 objective plays. Thanks again for submitting all your clips. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Take care.